This was the first full day of testimony at the political impeachment trial in Austin, and suspended Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton was not there. His former top deputy testified about going to the FBI with concerns that Paxton was being manipulated by his friend and campaign donor Nate Paul. The testimony is one key part of the prosecution's argument that Paxton illegally used his office to help Paul. Fox 4's Stephen Dial is covering developments in Austin. Stephen.
Clarice, a long day of testimony for one of the prosecution's star witnesses, one of the whistleblowers, Tony Busby, saying that he allegedly was staging a coup against his boss, Attorney General Ken Paxton. We're joined by political scientist at St. Edward's University, Brian Smith. What do you make of day two is wrapping up? What do you make of this process so far?
Well, the defense is trying to make it as clear as mud, the prosecutors clear as crystal. They're just trying to get their case across, and the defense is really doing a good job of trying to muddy those waters to make it look like the Attorney General is actually the victim.
Now, state senators are jurors. Some of them are lawyers, some of them aren't. They looked really focused today, but is their decision already made in this?
There's so much partisanship going on beyond what we see on the courtroom floor, and a lot of minds are made up. So it's those maybe 7 or 8 people in the middle that the defense and the prosecutor are focusing on.
Ken Paxton was only obligated to do the beginning part yesterday. He wasn't here today. We see that he's fundraising off of this, apparently. What role, or at all, does it play in him actually not being in there?
It's better for him not to be there, because if he is there, then people are going to look at him, try to get what his reaction is, maybe try to coerce him some way, keep him away. He's better off that way.
Who has more to lose right now? Is it the lieutenant governor who's serving as the judge? Is it the senators who will actually vote in this?
Lieutenant governor has a lot to lose because he has nothing to gain. If he ruins this trial, it's all on him. The senators, they have to worry about re-election and also doing the right thing based upon the results of the trial. And that's two different things, your political goals versus the legal system.
We have some big-name lawyers on both sides. Who do you think is doing a better job of pleading the case for their side?
Well, I thought both sides did a really good job. I know that the defense did a very excellent job of taking a credible witness and really going right after him, as withering cross-examination. But is it going to convince people's minds? We don't know yet.
The biggest question, and if you predict this, you should go play the lottery. How do you think the outcome will be? There's multiple articles of impeachment. Do you think Ken Paxton will be impeached and removed from office on at least one?
There's so many articles of impeachment that it's not an open and shut case yet, but there's a lot of people wanting to remove the Attorney General, and you only have to convince some, so he may get convicted.
All right, so a lot happening in day two. Thank you so much, Brian. A lot from day two, and there is still a second witness that has been testifying for at least the last hour and a half. He's also one of the 8 whistleblowers. Right now, the prosecution, the impeachment managers, are trying to get those whistleblowers out there to set up the foundation for these allegations, but they have a lot of potential witnesses, a set time that they can talk for each side of the case. So we'll have to see if there are any surprise witnesses. Day two is wrapping up. Still, no one will know how the senators will vote. Clarice.
Stephen Dial, live at the state capitol in Austin. Thank you. And as we continue to cover the impeachment trial, you can watch the live stream on fox4news.com, the Fox 4 YouTube page, and when we're not in a newscast, on Fox Local. That's our streaming app on Apple TV, Roku, Android, and Amazon Fire. It's free to download, and no login is required.